Hey everyone, it's Jordan from VFX Vault again, and today we're doing vector-based lines. So as you can see here, when we look and we click in our camera direction, it's going to draw a line. So this is different from point-based lines. So point-based lines that we did in the previous tutorials, we have a point A and a point B, and we're drawing a line between them. A vector-based line is we have a start point, we choose a direction, and then we walk a line along that direction. So you can see as we click, our start point is our character and our line is drawing in whatever direction the camera is. So this would be useful for something like a hit trace, or like kind of maybe a simple projectile line where we're shooting out along a line where we don't know the end point. Let's get into it. Coming into just a new Unreal Engine project, you can do this in any Unreal Engine project. Again, this is just the third person template. I haven't changed anything. There's nothing special about this. We're going to make a new Niagara system and we'll just go with directional burst. We'll just call this NS vector line, and we can come in and in the system we'll just set it to once. 5 seconds is enough, and again once in the emitter state. 5 seconds is enough. I'm going to burst, let's just go with say 25 particles for now, and the initialized particle, we'll set the lifetime mode to direct and just 2 seconds. So all of our particles are 2 seconds. We'll give them a uniform shape, so they're just dots. Size of 10 is good. We don't need any velocity, don't need any gravity, no drag, don't need to solve velocity or set scale. So we can also just change the fall off curve, the alpha curve, so they stay hard and then they fade off at the end. Next thing we need to do is just set the initial size or position. So we go new or existing parameters directly, and then we go position. So we're setting the position when we spawn. Now again, in the previous tutorials we've done points, like we've done lines between point A and point B with something like a lerp, and then you'd put a normalized execution index and you would be able to lerp between these 2 points however many particles you're spawning here. But we don't want to do that. We might not know the end point. We might just want our start point, and we can shoot along a line that we give or shoot along a vector that we give. So instead we go add vector to position. So we're going to have our starting position of our line and the vector direction of our line. So our starting position will just be our engine owner position, because that's where we're going to set it in blueprints. We're going to spawn our Niagara system on top of our character in blueprints, and it'll just be its starting position. And then the vector we want to add. So we go multiply vector by float. So our vector is going to be our line direction, and our float is going to be our magnitude, or how long is this line. So we can have a normalized direction here, and then we go multiply float by float. So our magnitude would be here, and our normalized execution index would be here. So we go normalized execution index, and let's say it is a line in the, so our vector again is the direction, there's a line in the forward X in the world, and let's say our magnitude is 500. So now we're multiplying that magnitude by our normalized execution index, so it's going to step along that line for each particle. So we can come to the user parameters and we can go set, let's set to, we'll set a vector which is line direction, and we usually want this to be normalized. We can normalize here, but we should normalize in the in the blueprint, but it depends again on which number that we're feeding in. And then the other thing we want to set here is we can go magnitude, I think that's right, magnitude, and we'll just set this 500, and we'll set this to 1 for these base examples. So we plug the line direction into our vector and the magnitude into the A float, So when our line spawns, when this particle system spawns, it's going to place our points along this line multiplied by our normalized execution index, which is a 0 to 1 range depending on where our particle is spawning and that set amount of particles. So you can see already in the viewport here a little bit, you can see that it's already kind of drawing a line. If we save that, we bring this into the world, and I'm just playing the system again on my other screen, but you can see it draws a line forward, and we can select it, and we can say come down to the line direction, we can make it go up, so we've got like a sort of a 45 degree, and then one again, so it's kind of pointing up and to the right and forward. So let's delete that, and let's now just put it on our character. So if we go play and just come down to the third person character, it's just an easy way to find it, and we go edit. So I've got it here. We've got that one here that we built previously, but I'll just get rid of it. So we want to get the left mouse button. So this is when we click our left mouse button, but you can use any binding or any event that you need, of course. And there we go, spawn system at location. So we're going to spawn a Niagara system at a specified location. So let's plug in this one here, the vector line, and then the location would be our characters mesh, and then we get world location. So get world location here, and we just want to add, otherwise it's going to spawn right in the sort of middle of our character. We want to spawn sort of closer to the head, so just go add, and we'll just move it up in the world. So go add 75 in the Z, plug that into our location. We don't need to touch rotation or scale, and then here we need to set some variables. So we go vector, so yeah, set Niagara variable vector 3. So we need the name, so we can come here and just go copy display name, and we can paste it in here, line direction, and we can set it to our camera's direction. So we've got the follow camera that's attached to our character, and we get forward. So we can get the forward vector, which returns a normalized unit direction vector for this component. So the camera's forward vector, we can plug that in here. And then again, we drag off here and go set float. So we can set float variable, plug it in here, and we'll just to make it a bit tidier here. We could set this to 500, but instead let's go random range. So we go random float, and then we lerp, or we can multiply even. So we just go multiply, because this random float returns a random float between 0 to 1 multiplied by 1000. So to give us a random value between 0 and 1000. Save that, make sure we set the variable name here. So we come back to our vector line and we go copy display name, plug in the vector name here, magnitude, cool. And now when we play, we'll bring this up to full screen. Oop, it's not quite working, we need to move it. Did we move it up a bit? So the location mesh, character mesh. Let's move it up a bit more, because I think that's at the root. Let's move it up 200 maybe. Maybe not 200. Let's go 175. So it's kind of at the head. So okay, I'll save. Last time. Perfect. So you can see that one was quite a short line, but as we move our character around and we click, it's going to draw lines off into the distance depending on the magnitude of the line, and it's reading the direction of the line based on the camera. Cool. So again, you can use this for line traces. You You use this for all kinds of different effects where you know the starting point and maybe how long you want it to go, but you don't necessarily know the ending point. So I hope this was helpful. Just a quick tutorial today. Keep an eye out, we've got some big news coming soon. I'll try to upload all of these effects and these tutorials and such to my Discord server, which should be linked down below. If you've got any questions, feel free to leave a comment. If you've got any suggestions for some tutorials that you'd like to see next, please let me know, and like and subscribe to help. Anyway, this has been Jordan from VFX Vault, and thank you so much for watching.